Welcome to Driftwood and Shine. Hey guys, I'm Debbie. Y'all ignore the hair today. It is hot in my house. I don't have central air, and the air conditioners are not working real well, so I have sweated. But that's okay. That is all right. Now we're fixing to make us a faux apple pie. Just to go on, with our little Americana tray. I've already cut out a whole bunch of pieces of slightly shaped apples. We're not worried about if it's exactly right or not. But guys, we're using the paper clay that I've showed you. Creative paper clay. I've got a big piece here that I'm just rolling out because this is the start. This is where we're starting. Just getting it, trying to get it soft. Trying to get it soft, and I'm just you see how I'm just kind of rolling it. There's a hard piece right there. I don't know why, but okay. Now I'm going to take me a old Mod Podge canister container, and we're just going to roll out our faux apple pie filling dough. Faux apple pie dough. Y'all share this out. Maybe somebody else wants to attempt to make a faux apple pie. I think the bottle keeps getting away from me, guys. I think it's going to be cute. We got to get it good and thin, though. And you see how I'm keeping moving it? That's that bad spot. We're not going to use it. Hopefully that won't affect right here too bad. I can go and roll right there. See, and you can kind of smooth that out. That's the good thing about this paper clay, guys. You can kind of work with it. But you don't want to go around and smush it too much without moving it, because it'll get thin and then it won't want to move. So see, I'm doing it a little bit and then I move it, just like when you're making a real apple pie. A real apple pie crust. And this is our little faux. Well, this is a real aluminum pie pan, a mini pie pan. So we're gonna attempt to make us a crust big enough to fit it. We just got to get it a little bit wider, I think, a little bit more round. So we're just gonna keep going out, keep moving it, so hopefully it don't get stuck, because we can't put flour down like we do a real one. Okay guys, I don't know if this is quite big enough, and I know this is not smooth, but we're going to see if we can get this up, and then we're going to go ahead and put it in our pan. If we have to fix a few things, it'll be okay. We want to just get it up. Okay. And then we're going to put out our little pie pan. And we're wanting it to go inside. See, fit down inside it, just like this. Oh, we made it. We made it. Now, this part right here, it could be a little bigger, but we're not worried about that. We just want to make sure that all the places, like this right here, is a little bit not together. We want to put it together a little bit. Oops. Got our pan. Now, what I'm going to do, just to get this out of the way, I'm going to cut off about 1/4 inch to the outside of my pie pan, just to get it on out of the way, because I don't really need that right now. All the way around, we're just going to go and cut it out. I'm so excited about this, guys. And you know, it may not be. Listen, when we're making something faux, and it's our first time, we're just going to be tickled that it winds up looking like a pie, right? You can always learn things when you're making something that the next go around, you can make it a little bit better, guys, a little bit better. Okay, now we've got it cut off, see, like that. Now, we're gonna, you know, a lot of pie crust, I've seen some that you don't, but most pie crust, you put in the oven and you bake it. So we're fixing to just mix us up just a little bit of color that we're gonna kind of put on this cake, put on this pie, to make him look like he's been baked in the oven on the inside. Don't have much of that. Don't know if there's any, we'll see. There's a teeny tiny bit. See if we can get him knocked down. But we just want, ugh, that don't look too good, but we're going to use it anyway. Kind of ugly. Okay. Now, all I've got is some beige and some brown, and then it was supposed to be desert sand, but that desert sand looks a little sad. Ooh, but I like the color. I like the color that it wound up. See? And now all we're going to do is just act like this kind of got baked a little bit. So we're going to go in here, put us a little bit of this. Not that it's going to show, guys. It's not. But we're going with the whole process that we're making it, right? So we're just going to put us a little bit in here just to make us feel good about our pie. And I'm putting just a touch up on the edge, not much. Not much yet. Now, we're going to take coffee filters right here. One at a time, wad it up. Okay, now we've got our coffee filter. And the reason we're doing this, guys, so that we don't have to use overabundant amount of paper clay. You know, we want to be able to, you know, kind of have some to work with in there, okay? And I'm going to get me another big wad, not as big as I did have, of paper clay. And we're just going to kind of smooth it out, but not smooth it out. We're just making us a cap for these. We might have to have a little bit more. And you can use, guys, to be a little cheaper, and I've got it sitting over there, I should have got it. It's the air dry clay. That air dry clay is a little cheaper. Some of it, you could use it, but let's see. Let's see if we got a little bit more to push in there. Just making it where it'll be a cap for our faux filling. Okay, we can smush it in there. And you do want it to be, or I want mine now, you don't have to. I want mine to be built up. See how I've got it? See, it's a little built up. Okay, now we're fixing to make that look like it's been baked a little bit too, even though this is technically the apples. This is the apples right here, but we're just going to put a little bit on here. We're just fooling ourselves, guys. Not fooling ourselves, we're playing around with ourselves. That don't sound good. Oh no. You know what we're doing. We're just pretending. That's what we do, is pretend. So we've got that. Now we're going to make us a little bit more because I want a little smoother cap. So we're going to make a little bit more for right in the middle. And then we'll start using all those apple pieces that I've got cut, and I'll show you just how they're not cut exact, guys. They don't have to be cut exact, but they're, you know, kindly in apple shape. And we'll start using those, and then we're getting going. I think we're going to be able to, it'll have to harden, guys. This will probably take a good, I'm going to say 4 or 5 days to harden down deep inside and all the pieces to get hard. We'll give it 4 or 5 days. But anyhow, see what I'm doing? I'm just going to go on now, and I'm just smoothing this top. And we could have done, listen, we could have done this with, it'll come to me. It'll come to me. We could have done it with mud, you know, and made it like that. But I wanted to do it like this, just because this is how I wanted to do it. Okay, kind of got this top smooth. It is not completely, but that's okay. So we're going to make a cap. Now this side, I don't know, you have yours even. Mine right here is a little dumped. So I'm going to put this little hard piece right in here, just to give me a little bit of raise right there. Now, putting this in here. Now we're fixing to mix. Okay. You see how he, look, see how he's starting to rise like you know, you build your apple up. Now, we're going to mix up in amongst all this brown. We're fixing to mix us a little bit more of the vanilla. It's vanilla ice cream. You know, because apples, they do have a, you know, kind of brown look. We want them to have a brown look, but we also want them to have just a touch of yellow look. You know, an apple's not yellow, but it has that, I don't even know what color exactly, but they want me just a touch more yellow in there. And this is that Aquology paint, guys. Remember, it is not a real pigmented paint, so it's not going to give you a lot of color. Not going to give you a lot of color. But this is a time when you can play with your paints, play with your stuff. You know, mix it up. And I still want it way more yellow than that, I think. We're going to do other stuff. This is not going to be the end-all be-all of this, the filling. But I want it, yeah, I'm going to leave it like that, where it has just a little bit of yellow look. Yeah. Now, we are painting this because this is it's supposed to be apples in here. We're just filling it up so that we can get it full without having to cut a whole lot of apple shapes. So that's why we've done it like this. And this kind of looks like an apple maybe that's already had its cinnamon, brown sugar, and butter all put in here. So it's colored. I've got to hurry because we got to hurry before this dries to do our final process with it. Okay, there we go. Now, we're going to take our apple pieces, and I'm going to start. Oh, I needed to show you how I did the apples. This is not a science either, guys. Listen. Just wing it. Wing it. That's what we're doing for our little apple pie. We're winging it. But I got me out some of the clay. I just worked it with my hands like this. And then I took the knife. You have to make sure your knife point is pretty straight, pretty clean. And I just went straight down like that. And then I did a slice kind of up. And I come up here. And just did kind of like the rounded part, you know, like when you cut that top off the apple. And the same thing on this side. See, that way I can cut two using the same basic mold. And like I said, they don't have to be exact, guys. I didn't get him cut all the way to there. So there you go. We just made little simple apple shapes. Little simple kind of apple shapes. Okay, now we're going to take our little pieces. Guys, we're just going to lay our apple down in here. You can use a pattern. You can just start laying, whatever you want to do. But I'm not overlapping a whole lot because, you know, I want each individual apple piece to kind of be seen so that when we get the top knot on it, it all is seen in there. But you see how I'm just kind of going around, just like you would, you know, if you're laying out a fancy apple pie and you lay your apples out all pretty. Now, some people just mix them in a bowl and then dump them in the pie pan, like Debbie. You know, that's how she does it. But, and I know her, she's not always right. She thinks she is, though. Do y'all know that? My grandson, let me tell y'all, my grandson pitched a fit with me today and said that I was just a fake and a phony on Facebook. I didn't let everybody know that I was mean to them. He said, you be all nice to everybody on Facebook and then you're mean to us. And I said, well, that's because y'all don't mind. Y'all don't do what you're supposed to do, what you're asked to do, what you're told to do. Okay, see how I'm placing these in a, halfway pretty manner. I may not have enough. We might have to cut more. We'll see. I know I did not cut them consistent in size, but that don't really matter either, guys. That's just based on you and how pretty you want yours to be. You know, do yours in the size you want. Make them all pretty and even and, you know, that kind of thing. Now we're going to start going up higher. Need to get up in the middle. Need to get up in the middle and then go. There we go. Now like that. I'm just turning him around, And I'm kind of pushing them down because, you know, it is the clay and it's not completely dry yet. So I'm kind of taking my finger and pushing them down into, you know, the other shapes. But we're just going to place them. Doesn't have to be exact. It's starting, this stuff dries pretty quick. It's not starting to completely dry out, but I can tell that it is getting drier. We're going to put us a couple pieces up here. Kind of cover up. That piece slid down. Let's put him right there. And then we'll put one piece right here. Look. There's our apples. Now we're going to take our yellowy kind of paint and we're going to paint over all our apples. This is not an end-all, an end-all be-all because we're going to kind of change this up. Just be a little careful and don't knock your apple out like I just did. And you can take and dab it. That's what we're going to do. That way I'm not rubbing on it. We're just going to dab it. These don't want to stay in place, but that's okay because we're going to make them. Oh, goodness. Stay in place, little fella. But it doesn't have to be exact right now because we're not through. We're still building upon our idea. Our little faux apple pie. And you can, listen, mix up whatever color you want. You may say, well, Miss Debbie, apples are not that color. Good. Mix up some other color. I didn't have an apple to cut, so I could let sit here and see. I'm just kind of working off of ideas, and I'm not even a big, huge apple eater, so it's a little hard. I do know that they get translucent when they're baked in a pie, sort of. And this is what we're fixing to mix up. Look, we're fixing to take us some Mod Podge. Whoops, I'm throwing everything away. Mod Podge, and this is the gloss Mod Podge, and it's gloss for a reason, guys. I want my inside here to be a little glossy. Now we're going to put some of the melted chocolate so that it has kind of this, we're giving this Mod Podge kind of a, and I know Mod Podge normally dries clear. So my thought process is, hopefully, it's still going to halfway kind of dry clear, but yet with the brownness about it. Because this is going to be our brown sugar and cinnamon and all that stuff mixed together that's poured over our apples. And then the little bit of apple that we will be able to see, because we're not going to see it all. It's not my plan anyway. My plan is we won't see it all. We're just going to drizzle this. We're not really going to pour. Just drizzle. Let it kind of run down and do its thing. And like I said, I'm hoping, guys, that will dry to a kind of, not really see-through, but kind of a clearish brown. Does that make sense? Clearish brown. Y'all please sprinkle this out so we can get more people watching. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty and to the end. Now we're getting us some more paper clay right now. Now look, this is what we're going to do. I'm just taking me just a dab of paper clay. I'm rolling it out with my hand, forming my little long piece. And look, this is what I'm going to do. I just want to see. I think I about have it long enough. So then I'm going to smash it out flat. Got to make sure you can still move it. Like that. But look what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my finger. Ever so often, I'm just going to make me a flute. Kind of like just a little, you know, where you move it in. Because I don't have a cutter. See, if I had a cutter, I could cut it and make it all cutesy. But right now, we just need it to be cutesy for us. And then I can take and use my finger and kind of smush it again, and then it'll still, I'll hold it up in just a minute. And it doesn't have to be perfect, guys. It doesn't have to be perfect. But you see the fluted? See it? And I'm not going to make a basket weave. We're literally just going to lay this over like this. Push it down into the sides of the pie right here. Now we need us 1, 2, probably 2 more of those. And you see how I used the back side of my flute. I flipped, you know, after I picked it up, I flipped it over. I'm trying to make sure I have enough to have a feeling of it. Okay, roll it like this. Then we'll roll it out on our tray, on our bar top. Just like that. That'll be long enough. Then we'll flatten it out. Then we'll go with both fingers, see, and I'm pinching. And then you can flatten, pinch, flatten, pinch, flatten, and it doesn't have to be exact. I really hope those inside dries like I have. It may not, because the brown is a see-through. I mean, is a solid, but it's mixed with a paint or a glue that's supposed to dry clear. So we're hoping that it'll dry clear. Okay. There's our fluted again. He's not quite as fluted, but that's okay. I can make him a little bit more fluted like that. Okay. Then we're going to lay him over here and push it into the corners of the actual edges of your pie. Right here is where we want it pushed in. Okay. I'm going to make two more. One on that side and one on that side, and then we'll do the cross hatches, and then we'll close him up, finish up his coloring, and then we'll be about through. Oh, look here. I'm making the stuff and I forgot to put my brown sugar inside my cake, my pie. And this is literally, guys, just glitter that is kind of, I think they call it laser brown. You see all those colors? And I'm using that for my cinnamon / brown sugar. So hopefully when we have our lattice work on our pie, you'll see a little bit of that brown sugar coat through. Brown sugar cinnamon. We just need to make sure he's long enough. Yep. Flatten him out. See, this goes pretty quick. This little pie is coming together quicker than I thought. I mean, I know it's a long time, but it's still coming together quicker than I thought once I kind of got my thought process together and got it all together. Let's see. I'm going to try to be very intentional about getting this like this real squeezed. Then when we flatten it out, maybe it'll still be more squeezed. I think that works. That's the key, guys, right there. Be more intentional. Look, it has more of a lattice. So we're going to put this piece right here. Push it down in there on the edges. Need a little bit more down there. Now we're going to make one piece right there, and then we'll be through with this part. Well, then, no, we won't. We got to do two. I'm going to do two across, and then we'll close it up, color it up, and call it done. And then we'll just wait until it dries, and hopefully it dries clear. You know, we'll see. We don't know. That's one thing we will not know until we get there. Flatten it. This time I'm going to be intentional just like before and squeeze real hard right here where I'm going to make my indent. And we'll flatten it out. And then your indentions are there. That's good. Okay. Now we're going to take it up. We're going to lay this one right here. Push it down right there. Now we're going to take, before I do any more, we're going to take and cut these off. Right down there where I said to push it down at, we're cutting it right there. Cut it right down in there. And that glue, guys, I'm going to tell you, that glue kind of acts like that paint kind of acts like a glue. So it kind of wants to hold it, which is a good thing. Getting all them cut off out of the way. Then we'll make our final two cross hatches, and then we'll close it up, put our final coat of whatever we decide on it to make it look cooked, and then we'll be through. Okay, we need 2, and I'm gonna make kind of thin ones. I want thin ones to go across this top, fairly thin. Now we're going to flatten it out, and I'm going to flatten this pretty hard because I want it thinner. Then we're going to be intentional, making our gathers. Then you go back and just kind of flatten the gather, and that's what's creating our flute, just like we have a, you know, a fluted piece of pie crust. Now we're just literally going to put 2 of these though. We're going to kind of push them down in between each one of those, and then push it down in there. Okay. We'll go ahead and cut that one off. That one. Last one, we'll get the closer up. Okay, let's flatten it. Be very intentional. Squeeze it good. And we're going to flatten where we squeezed. And then there's our little fluted pie crust. We're just going to lay him right across right there. Push down in the middle. Cut off our excess. Okay guys, and then all we're going to do to close this up, it's just like it's getting a little dry, so I'm hoping it'll work, but we're going to turn it on itself across. See how I'm not covering up the edge of the aluminum. We're having a little bit of aluminum peek through there. We can always, that right there is kind of a little short, so we're just going to smooth some in there, and it's okay. We can cover it. Try to cover up where you had you cut off your flute part, your part that goes across. But we're just going to kind of let it be. Like if we have to add more, like we're going to have to add more over here to cover. We're just going to cover it, but smush it down in there, and then it all becomes part of it. And we may just do that all around. And then you can take and flute. We may just do that, guys, because then we can flute it like that. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take and use those, and then that gives me enough to flute over here on the edge. I like that. I maybe shouldn't have cut it off, see? But you just, first time, I decided to cut it off. And I maybe should have left it on there. We could have used it. But it's okay. We're going to flute it anyway. And we're going to have our apple pie anyway. And some of you home bakers that really, I mean, I do bake and make homemade pie crust, but I'm not one of those experts on making the pretty pies. You know, it has the fluted edges and all those beautiful things. So I'm just using extra to give our pie crust kind of a genuine look. And we're just going to build it right on up and let it be. Right? Build it right on up and let it be. I love this. Okay, now it's all looking kind of pie crusty. Now we're going to take, let's see what we're going to take. Because I know what color I'm going for. And this is kind of what I'm going for right here. So let me see if I can get a little of this out to use enough around on that pie. Then we'll do a little bit of highlight of the browner color to make it, you know, because sometimes it does scorch a little bit. I don't know about y'all's pies, but my pies do. Sometimes the edge, the crust. Okay, now let's see if this is, yes, this is the color I want. So sandstone, I think, is a good color for the pie. Instead of brushing it, I am just kind of doing that same, smushing it in there. I'm going to try not to get it too much onto my actual apple pie inside, but we've got to get this on here so that it, you know, the pie does look like it's been baked. We don't want it to look like it's raw. And this will give it that baked look. This is desert sand, guys, and it looks like, to me, it's just the right color to make it look like it's been, you know, put in the oven a little bit. And then we're going to add a little to it to enhance that. Man, if I had an airbrush, would that not be perfect? We could airbrush it right in there. But I don't have one of them. Okay, we're just putting in this color, sandstone. Okay. And I should have not put the chocolate inside, guys, but we're not worried about it. It's still a pie. Even if we have to tell people it's an apple pie, it's still a pie. And we still have the option of hopefully that brown will dry clear. We don't know. Maybe it will. But if it don't, we can tell people this is our apple pie. Hush about the brown. Right? Okay, now we've got our sandstone on there to make it look like a cooked pie. Now what we're going to do is take just a touch of this brown. And we're going to add it to the sides. You know, because crust, like I said, sometimes crust gets just a touch brown. So we're going to add it to our crust to make it look like it's been cooked a little bit. Oh, I'm so tickled it's coming together. Okay. I still want to see if this is going to dry clear or dry solid. It's going to be interesting. But we got that. Now we're going to go across the top just a pinch in these highlighted, the bigger areas. Not all the areas, just in, you know, these that stick up sort of. Because sometimes that gets a little brown too, right? Then see, I don't know what I've done with my dryer. We're going to dry it a little bit up here, and then we have another thing to add to it. But I want the main top dry before I add this next step, because we've got to cover it with some Mod Podge, this gloss Mod Podge, so it's gonna, you know how when you cover a cake with the egg, the white eggs of the whites of the eggs, and then you sprinkle the sugar so it kind of glistens a little bit. Well, we want our pie to glisten, so we got a plan. We're just going to see how it works. But we do have a plan. That brown Mod Podge stuff is taking forever to dry, guys. I'm not sure how it does kind of almost look like it's going to stay brown but yet have a glistening appearance, so I'm not sure what it's going to look like inside our cake. Maybe I shouldn't have put that brown in there. I know some of y'all at home was probably going, oh, Miss Debbie, don't do that. But guess what? Miss Debbie done it. It's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna just tap where some of this brown is to get some of it off. Or not to get it off, but to where it's kind of wadded up. We want it not wadded up. Okay, now we're fixing to try it anyway. Here goes. Here goes nothing, girls. We're gonna put us some, we're just gonna dab on, because I do, it's hard. Let me cut it off. We're gonna cut it off and use it anyway. This is an old chip brush, and I didn't wash it out, so it's all white. So we're gonna cut off that white edge. And make a mess right in here. Okay, let me see. I don't think it'll be the same, but we're just going to try it anyway. We're going to put us a little bit of Mod Podge right there. And then we're going to Mod Podge all over this thing, because we want to do our final step, and because we want, when we take it out, we want our pie to kind of glisten, because it's going to look like we put egg white and sugar on it, right? That's the plan. So we're just going to make the whole thing shine, whether it wants to or not. Guess what? It's shining on, girls. Y'all sprinkle this out. I appreciate it, appreciate it, appreciate it. We're just putting Mod Podge all around, and I'm hoping now this Mod Podge should, the Mod Podge I'm putting on now, I'm hoping will dry, because I'm not putting it on real thick. I'm just dabbing it. So it should dry and leave just a shiny. That's all we want, is to leave, you know, shiny. And I'm not putting diamond dust on it, guys. I'm just going ahead and tell you, because if somebody picked this little pie up, I don't want it cutting their fingers and stuff. So we're not using the diamond dust. We're just gonna, I'll show you what I got. And I think it'll look good like sugar. I think it will on our faux little apple pie that's got way too much chocolate syrup inside. Hee hee. In hindsight 2020, do y'all ever do something and then you think, well, that sure looks more like chocolate syrup than it does anything to do with an apple pie and brown sugar? But hey, it's done. What's done's done, and it's just a faux apple pie. We can laugh about it and still enjoy it because it's still going to be spectacular. Spectacular. Okay, we got it all covered. And I'm not even going to care, listen, I am not even going to care if some of what we're fixing to put in here gets inside the actual cake, because then it's just going to look like the sugar. Gets inside the actual pie, rather. It'll look just like sugar. But look, I've got, look at the name of it even. Sugar Daddy. Sugar, and it is fine, fine, fine white glitter. So it kind of looks like sugar, right? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to Sugar Daddy our apple pie. We'll put a little bit much, but that's okay. He'll just glisten. And like I said, I don't care if it gets inside the pie. Now when our Mod Podge all dries and he looks all cute, I think it's going to be pretty. I think it's going to be the neatest apple pie ever. Ever, because we made it. But there we go, guys. Here's our faux apple pie. Let me move this over, and I'm going to move I know he's not dry, guys. I know he's not dry. But, and you could probably come up with 10 times 100 million better colors, but that's okay. Look, whoop, knocked my candle off. What we're going to do is trying to get that wet. We're going to move our beads just for right now and stick them up there. Look, and we're going to set our apple pie right here on this thing. Can't set him all the way in because he's not dry. But look, now we actually have an apple pie peeking out of our all-American tray. Isn't that cool? That is so cool. I'm so tickled. So tickled. And when it dries, like I said, when all our Mod Podge dries and it's clear instead of white, it'll look a little different. It'll still look like it's got chocolate syrup inside our apple pie. But we don't care. We don't care. That is stinking cute, guys. Cute, cute, cute. I don't care what anybody says. That's stinking cute. I love it. So y'all make you a faux apple pie. All you need is 10,000 pieces. I'm kidding. All you need is some paper clay. Remember to always keep your paper clay in a sealed Ziploc bag that you push the air out of. Like when I put my clay in there, then I'll turn it sideways, like this, and then I'll turn it like this, and do it like that until I get it all up here to the top, and then I'll seal it, and then I even sometimes squeeze even more out, because you don't want any air in here, because this paper clay, of course, will dry if it's let be with the air too much. But that's it, guys. With all my wonderful wetty, sweaty head and everything, I have my air on in here. We've been here, I don't even know how long we've been in here. It seems like, sometimes it only seems like 15 minutes, and it's been right at an hour, right at 45, 50 minutes an hour. And the air has been on high, on 60, ever since I've been in here, and I'm still sitting here sweating. So I've got to get my air, I've got to get some air, better air. But anyhow, y'all make you an apple pie. Do not put chocolate syrup. Even if it does dry clear, it still might not be the right color. Maybe I should have went with more of a cinnamon color, rust instead of brown, and mixed it to make it look like how you mix up the brown sugar and the cinnamon and the stuff on the apples. That's what I should have done. Just mix up maybe some rust instead of pulling brown. Instead of pulling melted chocolate, I should have pulled a brown color. So y'all make sure to pull a brown color. But then we do have our, and I can see our faux cinnamon brown sugar dust in there. So I still think it's gonna, I still love it. I still love it, guys. I still stand by it. Could I do improvement next time? I'm sure I could. I'm sure I could. You know, I'm hoping when y'all do one, then y'all do improvement. Guys, y'all take my ideas and run with them and just blow them up. And they're awesome. And I thank you for that. Send me pictures. I love it. I love it. I mean, we're here just to give y'all some ideas and some encouragement and some, you know, I like to give y'all little tips that I learn along the way. But there's our apple pie. We made it in one night. Actually, now I did cut out, I'm going to tell you, I spent right at 40 minutes cutting out all them apple slices. That took a little while. But other than that, I mean, it went together pretty quick. It went together pretty quick. And it is built up, see? Just like an apple pie. It's got the little high top dome. It's just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. So y'all make you an apple pie. And I will see you guys in the morning, Lord willing, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all please don't forget the Crafters Retreat. Please spread it out to everybody, everywhere you're at. Terry with Terry's Crafty Creations will be there. Char with Char's Art from the Heart will be there. Lisa with Brown Eyed Girls Crafting will be there. Kelly with the Sugar Shack, of course, is hosting it with us. Me and Sunny will be there. Dusty will be there. Y'all gonna get to meet the twins. I mean, guys, it's gonna be such a time to remember and a time to honor God and just to have a good time. 10 plus crafts that you'll take home, and that's not even including, I think there's like 8 to 10 during tutorial time, and that's not including the pajama party. The pajama party's wide open. However many you want to do in 2 hours, there's going to be stuff laid out there that you probably can't even imagine. You just be like going shopping and picking what you want and just being able to do whatever you want to with it. That's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. So, anyhow, y'all don't forget to get your ticket. We still have some tickets available. And you can go to www.driftwoodandshine.com. You can click on Drift in the Sugar Crafters Retreat if you want some more information on it. Or if you want to go ahead and purchase your tickets, click on Retreat Tickets. They'll be right across the top. Or if you're on the phone, they'll be in the drop-down menu. Click on there and let's get y'all come. We're excited. We probably won't be making no apple pies there, though. We won't have time. That'd take all day. No, I'm kidding. But, hey, who knows, though? Who knows? We might make apple pie. I ain't never thought. I didn't really think about making something like that. We might make something like that. Who knows? Guys, I'm going to tell y'all right now, y'all are going to be fully surprised and excited with all the stuff that y'all be able to make and see and watch be made and get to take swag bag home with you and all that good stuff. So y'all come join us if at all possible. If you need us to help you pray, hey, God's able, guys. Let me tell you something. God is able. So just reach out to us and say, hey, y'all help me pray. I really, 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 really want to come, but God's got to move so I can. And if it's His will for you to come, let me tell you something. He'll move. All right? I love you guys. See you in the morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for devotion. All right. Bye, guys.